Welcome everybody back to the X Factor Sports Talk, and we're back with another NFL video. Week 1 is past. NFL football is back. We are so excited. Week 1 was crazy. We had some upsets, some monsoons, some just absolute dog performances from some guys that we expected and not expected. But nonetheless, we're here and we're back. I'm here with Troy and Caleb. Guys, how are we doing today on this beautiful, crisp afternoon?
Great. How are you,
Doing good.
Fellas, I like Fred just said, I'm super excited. The NFL is here. It's a different feel. Saturday night, I spent 3 hours with me and my air fryer making some wings for the beautiful slate of football that we had, and it was, by God, it was awesome.
We had 2 different Saturday nights on that.
The Cats pulled out a big one if you're into college football. Nonetheless, looking at our week 1, we were kind of talking before we hopped on and just how difficult it is kind of to pick week 1 games. My record was 9-6-1 because there was the one tie, almost 2 ties, but we'll get into that. And then Fred's record was 7-8-1. So I edged him out there. Upset of the week, Fred did not predict his upset of the week correctly. He's 0-1, and I am 1-0. So the beautiful
Who's your upset again?
Mine was the Giants over the Titans. So I love that. One little moolah off of it as well. So that was awesome. But moving forward into week 2 of the NFL, this just the slate of games that we have, and then it all kicks off on the new prime Thursday night football. Fred, Chargers on the road to play the Chiefs. The Chiefs come into Thursday. Favored by 4 points. So what do you think about this one? It's an AFC West showdown. What do you think, Patty versus Justin Herbert?
I love Justin Herbert, man. He made some throws on Sunday where it's like, oh, like this guy's one of those guys. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people are like, oh, is he, in that upper echelon of QBs? Kind of flashed, of course, last year. Now this year, I think he's going to just take off and go. Khalil Mack, Joey Bosa, both made impacts week 1. I'm going with the Chargers here. I loved what Patrick Mahomes did on Sunday, getting Clyde Edwards-Helaire going. Juju looked decent. Kelsey's still Kelsey. Still a little question mark. Who's going to be that, that kind of that other option at receiver to step up? Is it going to be Mecole Hardman? We'll see. But the Chiefs are the Chiefs. But I do like Chargers here getting the kind of upset win on the road in Kansas City. Not my upset of the week, but,
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Caleb, you got anything just to sprinkle in on this matchup overall? Chargers, Chiefs, big names, big teams, big games.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be. It's gonna be an exciting game to watch. It's gonna be a lot of offensive highlights. The Chiefs going off like they did. Mahomes having an amazing game. I feel like Mahomes is on a mission this year after the way his season ended last year, and I think he's gonna come out strong. And just kind of like continue to be like last year was a fluke, and just continue to prove why he's like the best quarterback in the league. So I'd go the Chiefs.
Yeah. So when looking at the box score for the Chiefs during week 1, 9 different receivers had a reception, which is absolutely incredible. Just overall incredible. They dominated the Cardinals. Now let's be honest here. The Cardinals are not very good right now. They're without arguably their best offensive player. A lot of question marks on that offensive side of the ball. Everything going on with Kyler this offseason, it was all really, really, really funky. And the way that the Chargers beat the Raiders was great. It was a statement. Their defense was awesome. They turned Derek Carr over. But I'm also going to go with the Chiefs, kind of for exactly what Caleb said. I just think that this team, it means more to them right now. But this is the great thing about this matchup, though, because the Chargers are trying to prove something too. So I think that this game is just going to be 2 great teams, arguably the 2 best teams in the AFC, going head-to-head, toe-to-toe, tit for tat. And I think it's going to be so much fun. I just think in this current point, Patrick Mahomes will have the edge over Justin Herbert. So I am also going with the Chiefs. And then moving forward to our Sunday 1:00 slate, the Dolphins on the road to play right now the AFC North favorite in the Ravens. Fred, early thoughts on this one?
This is actually my game of the week. I am super excited for this matchup. I thought Lamar looked great in week 1. I know it was against New York, but still looked, he showed flashes again of a developed passer. And then Tua, he had a couple of duck throws, but man, he got Tyreek involved, Jalen Waddle waddling in the end zone. I'd like to see them get the running game going with Chase Edmonds. He had 12 carries for 25 yards, so a little lackluster there. And same with Kenyon Drake, 11 rushes, 31 yards inside of Baltimore. So I think Baltimore and Miami both get the run game going, but we got these two, you got Lamar against Tua, fun receiving cores or a fun receiving core from Miami side, and just kind of scrappy receiving core for Baltimore. So I'm actually going to go Baltimore here. It hurts me to say it, but I think it's going to be an awesome matchup. I think it's going to be high scoring, and I'm excited to see it. That's why it's my game of the week.
Yeah, I'm a little stunned, like just hearing that this is your game of the week.
Miami shocked me, dude. I think they're going to be a lot. I thought they were going to be overrated coming in, but
what did you see in their week 1 matchup versus the Patriots? I mean, they put up 20 points, which is great. But I mean, what
I think the Patriots are like really bad. And I listened to Bill Simmons talk about this in front. I'll cut it back to you. I just wanted to throw this in here. It's like there were some reads where Tua made where it was like the Patriots defense was just so off that it was such an easy read. And so it's like Tua definitely didn't do as bad as I thought he was going to do. But I mean, I guess you would expect a guy like him to be able to read defenses and coverage like that and make the right decision. And he definitely did. But I'll throw it back to you, Fred.
Yeah, I honestly like Miami's defense going into that game. I know the Patriots don't have the craziest, offense like they have in the past, but Brandon Jones came in third season out of Texas. He made a couple plays. I don't know, man. Miami just kind of showed me something I didn't expect. I thought I know Tua gets a lot of hate, and I even threw some hate on it to his arm, but I think he's going to be good this year.
Yeah, I think something that stood out to me was how well they incorporated Tyreek Hill. Watching some of the
got to get him the ball.
Yeah, watching some of that game, Tyreek Hill was high pointing balls and was really getting after it. I was like it wasn't just a slant or a go. It was actually like off broken plays, competing with. I mean, the Patriots defense is what it is, but they still have a great defensive minds all over that sideline. So great matchup for Tua. Tua's kind of the owner of the Patriots, which is interesting. But I'm also going to go with the Ravens. I just think they're too good. We didn't even really see their best game, and Lamar looked like he was bored playing against the Jets. He could go whenever he wanted, but I don't think he really wanted to push it too far. In week 1 was kind of just getting his feet wet, getting his arm back right, getting his legs feeling good. They're not at their full strength even still. So it'll be interesting to see if they get J.K. Dobbins back and try to incorporate, their more 3-headed monster at running back in Lamar, Kenyon, and J.K. So that'll be fun to watch. Ravens are just really, really good. They're
Ravens for all three of us.
Yeah, Ravens are just so good. Moving on, the Jets on the road to play the Browns. Fred, I'm just going to toss this right over to you. What do you think about this matchup?
Boring.
Yeah.
The Jets are bad. Joe Flacco threw it 1,000 times. I'm interested to see what this team looks like when Wilson gets back. But right now, the Browns, you got the 2-headed monster with Chubb and Hunt, and that's, arguably the best backfield in the league. Chubb ran it 22 times for 141. Hunt scored a couple times. So we'll see. Jacoby Brissett's going to take care of the football. That's all he needs to do until Watson gets back. So I think the Browns win this. Myles Garrett got to the quarterback a couple times. So he'll be able to do that enough against teams like the Jets. Now, when they play the upper echelon teams, Jacoby's going to have to show a little more. But in the time being, give the ball to your workhorse backs and let it ride. Go with the Browns. Michael Carter did look good for the Jets, by the way.
You want to sprinkle anything in here, Caleb?
I don't think there's really much to add. If at least for me, there's nothing I can add to that. I think I would also go Browns in this one. Just for, literally everything Fred said. I can't, throw anything else out there.
And they're always going to have a good defense. They have playmakers all over the field.
I really, really wanted to pick the Jets, but they are just so bad. Jacoby Brissett is awful. He is not a good quarterback.
Some say that he's not that great.
He is literally terrible. And the Carolina Panthers, they were out of the game for 90% of it, but they figured something out late. And it just completely took their offense to the next level in that sense. They figured something out. I don't know if it was along, just Baker with his new teammates. He just figured it out as he got going. But like 17 points in a fourth quarter in a win, like in a game where your back's against the wall the entire game and you're not really doing anything good, like that's impressive from the Panthers, especially whenever you look at their carries log and CMC had 10 carries. Like, and early on in the game, he had like 4 carries going into the second half. It's like, yeah, you know, like, I mean, I get you're trying to ease him in, but at the same time, like you're trying to win a football game. Like you have to give your guy the ball. So that was interesting for me. I wanted to pick the Jets, can't do it. The Browns with an easy one there, in my opinion. Moving on, Fred's sneaky team of the year. The Commanders on the road to play the Lions. Commanders knocked off the Jaguars in week 1 in what was a great game, a fantastic game, down to the wire game. Carson Wentz obviously looked solid early, got really bad towards the back end, and then just finished out being as mediocre as you could be, which is typically what Carson Wentz will give you. I personally have the Lions here. Something with the Lions that you've been able to always point to under Dan Campbell is their unwillingness to just go down. Like, they always find a way to be in these games. They've always found a way to scrape and to claw back into these situations. Golf was awful for about 80% of the game. And then, like, you blink and they're within a score. It was like, what in the world is happening? It was a great game between the Eagles and the Lions. But, I mean, I've talked about DeAndre Swift before. He's one of my favorite running backs in the NFL. I don't know when people are going to start listening to me about running backs. I just have an eye for him. I don't know what it is. This dude is a dog. If he can stay healthy, this dude will be unreal for years to come. But anyway, enough of my rant there. I do think they get the job done, get their first win in this new year. I just think, dude, they're going to be fired up, ready to go. Dan Campbell's going to try to get that defense right, but I think we'll see a lot of points regardless. What do you think?
Go ahead, Rob.
I mean, always going to have just a soft spot for the line, just because the Hard Knocks was awesome this past year. Watching them in the training camp and preseason, fell in love with a couple of those guys. They're just not ready yet. They're still missing a couple pieces. I think they need a quarterback. I think as good as Jared Goff looked in preseason, he didn't really show much to me this past week. I know it's still week 1. Their defense still has some holes, especially in the secondary, I feel like, and then their middle linebackers are kind of soft. They're starting a rookie, and it's just a lot going on for them. But for the Commanders, man, yeah, my sneaky team coming to the year, I thought Carson Wentz did a good enough job. Antonio Gibson looked great. He was catching the ball well out of the backfield, so he improved that part of his game. Curtis Samuel was doing great things. And, of course, you got Scary Terry on the outside as the X receiver. So I really like the Commanders. I'm going Commanders again here. That defensive line is insane. And, of course, got my man Jamin Davis Mike in that linebacker role. So I really like Washington. If Carson Wentz can do his thing, I think Washington's a sneaky team to win the East, especially with Dak being hurt.
Oh,
but the Eagles are good too. But
yeah.
I'm just saying. Washington, watch out. Carson Wentz. I love you, kid.
I'd also go Commanders. I think Carson Wentz, like, we can all sit here and agree, like, Carson Wentz is like an average quarterback, and with a team like the Lions that have pieces missing that we can all agree on too, I think an average guy is going to do just enough to get you over the hump against a team that has some pieces that need to be filled in. So I'd also go Commanders.
You guys are going with
just fun.
Oh, Commanders are the underdog on the Vegas lines. Moving on, the Colts. I mean, just an upsetting performance from a team that was supposed to compete in the AFC this year on the road to play the Jaguars. The Jaguars, as we kind of just alluded to with the Commanders, they did lose in week 1. The Colts tied with the Texans. Colts, man, they let me down. I mean, I was really, really high on them coming into this year, but not just this year. I was really high that they were going to destroy the Texans. Like, I thought they were going to be like, if you watched our last video, I was hammering that at home. Like, their last time on a field outside of week 1 was whenever they got their literal playoff hopes ripped away from them by the worst team in the NFL. And then you upgrade, like the Jaguars, and you upgrade at quarterback. You've had all year to simmer on it. You essentially have the same group out there outside of Matt Ryan. So it was just, I was stunned. But the good news is Jonathan Taylor is still really, really good at football. And that
I wonder who was right about him. I can't remember. One of us was.
I don't know either. I mean, whoever's the running back wizard around here. But Michael,
Caleb, great job, bud.
yeah,
I did take him first overall in my fantasy league.
I think everybody in America did, son.
Hey, Michael Pittman Jr. though, he looked
looked
solid.
Yeah.
I have the Colts getting the job done against a team that I really like in the Jaguars. I just think, I mean, I thought the Jaguars were going to win last week. There's just, like you guys said about the Lions, there's just a lot of questions about the Jaguars right now. They didn't. I mean, Trevor doesn't look as fluid as I thought he would either. He looks. There's just something I feel is a tad off with him. I don't quite have my finger on it. What do you think, Fred?
Yeah, my question about the Colts is who's going to be that second receiver to step up. They got Naheem Hines in a lot of packages. They got Ashton Doolin, a kid out of Malone, a young kid that, quick, kind of a special teams guy, but he made some plays. Paris Campbell, come into his own. We'll see. I love Mo Alley Cox. But who's that guy outside of Michael Pittman and, of course, Jonathan Taylor carrying the ball, which I think they should just give him the ball every time. But that's their question mark. And their defense is loaded. I'm really excited to see that defense just continue to grow. They got a ton of new pieces coming in. Kwity Paye looked great, had a couple sacks. And on the Jaguar side, man, I like that scrappy receiving. I really like Christian Kirk. I think he did a lot of good things week one. Trayvon Walker on the defensive side, the first overall pick, man, getting a pick and a sack. Of course, they got one of my favorite guys in the league, Josh Allen, Kentucky kid. So, but yeah, Trevor Lawrence didn't look the best, but I still think he's got it. I think
he was missing like easy checkdowns to like Travis Etienne. Like Etienne had a wide open touchdown and Lawrence just overthrew him. Like
he still got it though. I think he still has that arm talent and that just quarterback. I don't know what it is, but I don't know if he'll ever be Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, but I feel like he can be that next level if he just keeps working. And also they're still building. I mean, this isn't a team who's going to go wow the world.
Set the world on fire.
Right. But I'm going to go Indianapolis here, man. I think they bounce back and I think they crush the Jaguars.
Crush.
I think they come out pissed off.
I think that this is going to be extremely close. Like this is another one. I wanted to pick the Jets. I wanted to pick the Jags. Like I wanted to. I feel
like the Jags are going to be in a lot of games this year. It's going to be different.
And look at compared to their first half, they put up 3 points in the first half, but it's kind of like the Panthers. They just figured something out in the second half and they put up 19 points. Like those types of trends I like to see. And whenever looking into, week to week, the Jaguars have a lot to build on. Obviously, so do the Colts. The Colts were getting killed. Shouldn't have won the game. Shouldn't have even tied. They were down by like 2 scores late into the game. And then the Texans did what only the Texans could do and absolutely threw it all away. But
I think they hit, though. I mean, I think they hit on the draft. I mean, Trayvon Walker, I know it's 1 week, but him and Devin Lloyd, they're their rookie Mike linebacker out of Utah, even another first-round pick. He led the team in tackles. He was flying all over the place. So I think their defense can be really good. Of course, they have Trayvon and Josh coming off the edge. I mean, that's a nice little duo.
Yeah, but as you said, dude, the Jaguars' offense is just a ton of scrappy dudes that are fun to watch. Evan Ingram, Christian Kirk, Zay Jones, James Robinson, great story out of that young guy. Then, of course, Travis Etienne. Caleb, you got anything?
I expected a little bit more out of the Jaguars running offense. Wasn't necessarily there week one. Hopefully they can continue to build off it week 2. I mean, Robinson only had 66 yards. Etienne 4 carries for 47. So I mean, I think they can improve on that
efficiency out of Etienne there.
Hey, yeah. When does he transition to RB1? Because I think he's that guy.
Well, James Robinson coming off a torn Achilles.
I thought Robinson looked good.
I know James Robinson's great, but God bless it, dude. Travis Etienne makes plays. Yeah. They got to get packages or something. Kind of how the Colts use Naheem Hines. I mean, something. Because his brother's good too.
Yeah, his brother is really good.
He getting Kentucky a little bit.
But nonetheless, I'd also lean with the Colts.
I think the Colts still end up winning 12, 13 games this year.
Jesus.
Their defense is electric, bro. And that division's really soft. That division's really soft too. I mean,
that's bold.
You got to think who's in their division too.
I liked Pittman though. I thought he looked really good. I heard a lot of hype for him throughout the offseason, and then coming in week 1, I thought he looked really good.
But who's that second receiver? We don't know.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
You don't know.
Yeah. So moving on to the next game, the Buccaneers on the road to play the Saints. The Buccaneers, I mean, yeah, they did the job, beat the Cowboys rather. But still something was a little off, settled for a lot of field goals. They weren't necessarily as sharp as you'd like, but again, it is only week one. Fred, what do you think of this game?
Yeah, Julio Jones looked really good, man. I'm glad to see him healthy. Not even just as a football fan, it's good to see a guy that we've watched grow into or seen him be at the top of the game. To see him bounce back like this because he wasn't good in Tennessee. It was really cool, and of course, Father Time, Tom Brady, still slanging that thing. So Buccaneers look great, man. I know the Cowboys aren't the best team in the league, but definitely showed out. Devin White looked phenomenal as always. Antoine Winfield, beautiful safety. And then going on the Saints side, man, gotta love famous Jameis. Dude's a geeker, but man, he could sling it a little bit. Love what I saw out of Jarvis Landry, dude. And Michael Thomas catching a couple titties. So, he gets it done. And Alvin Kamara's sick. So actually, I'm going to go here with the Buccaneers, even though I'm hyping up the Saints a little bit. I think watching just their defense is going to be clampy. I mean, Vita Vea, Devin White, Shaq Barrett, Mike Edwards.
They got dudes everywhere.
Okay. Oh, dudes everywhere, son. Yeah. And then Leonard Fournette looked great. Oof. And Tom. And Mike Evans is going to get you yards. So
yeah, Chris Godwin got a little banged up. They luckily said it wasn't his knee; it was a hamstring injury that had been lingering. And those hamstring issues, man, those things can derail your season.
Their defense was just, all over Dallas.
Yeah, we'll get into Dallas a little bit later because I think the story more lies within the Dallas Cowboys. But Caleb, you got anything to add?
Like you've been saying, I wanted to pick the Saints here, but the Buccaneers just got so many dudes on their team that are just really, really tough. Leonard Fournette looked really good. Julio Jones really impressed me. I didn't really have high expectations for him.
He looked quick. Like Troy said, he looked fast.
Yeah, he looked explosive. You couldn't tell.
You get him and an elite quarterback together. It's gonna be.
Tom threw that ball, and it was just he looked. Yeah. What are we in Atlanta? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Tom underthrew him too on a little play action scamp, or else he would have had a touchdown. He underthrew him towards the sideline and he missed him. But
Brady was good. He wasn't sharp, but he was good.
Yeah, This is actually my upset of the week. I'm rolling with the Saints. They're my sleeper team of the year. I will ride them all year long. What have I said? Literally what we've gone over. Trends. They absolutely dominated the second half. Absolutely dominated the second half. And I just realized what you said. You're a clown. You are a clown.
Yo, is Taysom Hill good?
Taysom Hill, they have great packages for him. Alvin Kamara was dinged up. That's why you only see the 9 carries there. Their running back room, though, is so bad without Alvin Kamara. So they need to figure that out.
He's so good, though, dude.
And I've pounded the drum of their wide receiver room all off season long with Landry, Michael Thomas, Chris Olave, and whenever Alvin Kamara is used as a wide receiver, that room is just unreal. With Winston looking better and better and being the guy that we know he is, and he's the type of guy, man, that can lead the NFL in passing yards, in the right situation.
If he doesn't turn over the ball, they'll make the playoffs.
How did Michael Thomas look week 1?
2 touchdowns.
2 tutties.
Did he look good though?
He didn't have a target or a grab, I don't think, in the first half, and then in the second half, he absolutely tore it up.
He's such a good route runner, bro. He puts that foot in there.
Yeah, he was putting.
I didn't get to. That was one of the games I didn't get to see a whole lot of. But.
It was incredible. They stormed back. The Falcons were up 26-10 deep into the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
And the Saints stormed all the way back, got the job done, and that's what it's about in this league. And I think. Their head coach has had a lot of success against the old Buccaneers, and I think the demon keeps haunting the Buccaneers and Brady, and the Saints roll here. Moving on, the Panthers on the road to play the Giants. The Giants, man, such a feel-good story. Week 1, Brian Dable. That guy, I saw a video of him.
Leader of men.
Yeah, just reacting to that game and the game, Fat Randy missing the kick, and just Brian Dable with the fist pump, the emotion. And then walking off the field all fired up, getting hugs from all of his guys. Saquon Barkley with the huge plays all game long off of
Saquon looked good.
Yeah, dude, off of his injury-riddled last couple of years. This guy, I think we forgot just how good Saquon Barkley is at football. That dude is unbelievable. Their wide receiver room full of weirdos. Wan'Dale Robinson did get hurt, however.
He's day to day.
I am not riding with the Giants though back-to-back weeks, even though I think that place will be popping. I think that place is going to be rowdy. They just beat the number one Titans coming like on the road. Like, dude, that place is going to be rowdy. But I'll send it right over to you, Fred. You seem a little against it. I am going with the Panthers, however, but I'll let you keep it moving.
Yeah, I'm going with Carolina too, man. It's so fun. Wandale, he's day to day. I'm so glad it wasn't a serious knee issue, and that's gonna be a question for him. I don't mean to harp on a Kentucky kid, but he's small. I mean, he's gonna get banged up, but he's good. Sterling Shepard, he caught a nice touchdown there. Saquon was the story though. He looked absolutely incredible. Daniel Jones, not it. Just kind of.
He didn't look bad.
He didn't look bad, but
one questionable throw really, and Brian Dable absolutely chewed him on the sideline. Like I said, I had money on this game, so I really watched it. I had it on a TV of its own outside of just the typical red zone I watch. And Daniel Jones, 17 of 21. I mean, almost 188 yards. So yeah, he wasn't moving the ball, really taking the top off. But I mean, when you got Barkley carrying 9.1 yards per carry,
that needs to be their offense.
Yeah, I mean, you don't really need Daniel Jones taking the top off all the time. I mean, and when it mattered, something I'll harp on with whenever we get to the Bengals, they actually used motion and play action. It was beautiful. They got Daniel Jones out of the pocket a little bit, moved the defensive line, used some misdirection. And they crashed. With a running back as good as Saquon and the Joe Mixons and these guys of the world, and they're dominating the game, do a little play fake, the defensive line collapses, you got a wide open tight end in the back of the end zone waiting just for a tutty. So I think they did really, really good work with the motion, the movement of Daniel Jones. Didn't let him just stand in the pocket and try to figure it out. I think Dable's a fantastic coach. Watching that game, I was like, holy cow. These dudes are disciplined and they're playing really, really good football. I was pretty impressed.
Yeah.
And going on the Carolina Giants, but just my God.
No, you're good. Their defense is is the one question mark for me. I want to see how they go against a really high powered passing offense, unlike Tennessee. But yeah, I thought Baker looked okay. He didn't look crazy good. They got to give the ball to their best player. CMC has got to touch the rock. I mean, my God. I mean, you have a Ferrari in your backfield and you chose to drive the Honda Civic. You know what I mean? So, I'm excited to see what Carolina can do because I really like their defense. But we shall see. Robbie Anderson caught a bomb, which is cool. I like Robbie Anderson.
Anderson low-key balled.
Yeah, got to see my man DJ get a little bit more involved.
Yes. They have to find a way to get DJ more involved.
Get your top. I mean, DJ caught 2 balls and CMC ran it. Would you say 10 times? That's just not going to get the job done, man. But I'm going to go the Panthers here. I think they go out on MetLife and smack on some Giants.
I'm going to ride the wave while it's hot, and I'm going to pick the Giants.
Yeah, I love it. I wanted to so bad.
Good completion rate for week 1, and Saquon looking really good. I hope he can continue that throughout this whole season because he's fun to watch when he's at the top of his game.
And they also don't even have Thibodeau yet. He's hurt, right?
Exactly. Dude, this team is just fun. They're a fun group. If you are a Giants fan, have fun. Once you get a quarterback, your team's going to be dynamite. You're
Will Levis.
Do what?
Will Levis.
So how about Jimmy Garoppolo?
There's
somebody.
There's something stuck in my throat. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, Will Levis. We heard you. Moving on to Fred's favorite team, the Patriots, on the road to play the Steelers.
Hold on, reword that one for me.
The Steelers went into the defending AFC North and the defending AFC champions house and stole a win. I don't think either. Me and Fred were texting during the entire game, and we were like, nobody deserves to win this game.
No.
Whoever,
God, no.
Yeah, whoever gets away with this win does not deserve it. The Steelers defense was able to absolutely, I guess, just bamboozle Joe Shiesty and turn him over 5 times. I think a lot of them were on Joe,
yes.
But for the most part, the defense capitalized on those mistakes, which is the biggest part of anything. It doesn't matter how you get the job done as long as you're getting the job done. But the Patriots, kind of what Caleb was saying earlier, looked really, really rough week 1. But that's not to say the Steelers look too much better. So, Fred, what do you think of this one?
Yeah, I'll start with New England because I'm going to go in about my Steelers. Mac Jones is banged up. I don't know if he's going to play week 2. Is Brian Hoyer still their backup for the 30th year in a row?
I would assume him or Bailey Zapodi from.
I want to say it's Hoyer.
Let's see real quick. I'll do this while I'm talking. Brian Hoyer's their backup, and Bailey Zapp is their their third string. So yeah, I don't know. Their running back room's cool. Damian Harris and Stevenson, and their wide receiver room's ugly. Their defense, they got Jawan Bentley, cool. Like, I don't know about the Patriots. But my Steelers, man, like Troy said, the turnovers were definitely on Joe Burrow. Like that pick six Mika got. I mean, I could have probably made that play.
Yeah.
It was just, I don't know what was going through his head. But yeah, the defense, of course, was a story for Pittsburgh. Minka made a lot of plays. Alex Highsmith made a ton of plays. Cam Hayward, of course, is going to do his thing. A little banged up. Interested to see what happens without TJ. I'm not sure who we're going to send off the edge. But I'm excited to see it. I thought Mitch did decent. I thought he was, exactly what we needed to win the game. I loved getting the ball to Claypool and some run action. Love to see him get the ball.
I thought if anything, Claypool was a bright spot for the offense. He looked pretty solid.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, and I mean Pat Freiermuth, man. I mean, 5 catches.
He had some big catches. Yeah.
I mean, they're at the end of the game. He set us up for that field goal. Deontay made a heck of a grab right there on the sideline. So I'm really excited for this Pittsburgh team. It's a new look Steelers team. First time in my life, Ben hasn't been my guy. So I'm excited to see Mitchell continue to grow. He made no mistakes. I mean, he was very just dialed in, did exactly what we needed to do. Shouldn't have won the game, but we did. And I'm excited to see us beat down the Patriots because I do think we're going to win this one.
Yeah.
You going?
I went against my team last week. Can't do it this week.
I think this might be like the biggest blowout of the week. Like, I think the Steelers defense, I'll throw it out there. I think the Steelers defense, I thought it was really, really solid last week. And I think I woke up or I shouldn't say woke up worrying, but so I have the Steelers defense in one of my leagues. And I was like, dude, I need to drop them, blah, 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 blah. Because it's I was so worried about TJ being hurt for the year or whatever. And I think now, try to find a bright side. I think the guys that are still on the field are gonna be like, let's hold the fort down while he's gone, and when he comes back, we'll still be dominant. And go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was gonna say I was trying to figure out who's coming off the edge behind TJ. I thought it might be Malik Reed. Yeah, it's probably gonna be Malik Reed. Okay, cool.
But I thought I thought there were bright spots to the offense as well. It was a very ugly game, but I liked what their defense brought, and I liked Chase Claypool and Freiermuth. So I'll go with the Steelers in I shouldn't say a big victory, but I think it's not going to be very close.
Last year, the Steelers did almost the identical thing that they did this year. They went into a dominant team that everybody was high on's house and got the job done week one. What did they do to respond? They lost their next 3. So what I have to present to you today, the Patriots are winning this game. They have the running game to dominate time of possession. I think that they're going to do a really, really good job. Joe Mixon in spots was carving up the defense. He was not really carving it up. I shouldn't say that, but just 4 or 5 carries or 4 or 5 yards a carry each time.
So his biggest run was not that much. It was 8 yards maybe, right? He didn't. He might have had one.
He broke one.
That was later in the game,
30, right? 20 to 30 yards. But
okay, early on.
Nonetheless, I just think that their running game is going to be dominant. I think that it's a super emotional win for the Steeler team. They just went into Cincinnati. This team's coming off a Super Bowl appearance, and they got the job done. And they're celebrating in the locker room. They're smoking cigars. They're having a great time.
Wearing their black Air Forces.
They're gritty and
that's my coach.
They're gritty and everywhere, making fun of the Bengals. Yeah, let's have some fun and lose in your first home game and enjoy that one. It's going to be the same story as last year where they, get out the gate.
No love, bro. God.
Win. Hey, you guys did the same thing last year.
Give me a positive about the Steelers at least.
Positive about the Steelers. I love Mitch Trubisky. There you have it. And I love Najee Harris. Minka Fitzpatrick. You know how I feel about that guy. He's a great ball hawk guy. But in my eyes was headhunting a few times here and there. He was attacking our wide receivers a bit too aggressively with his crown of his helmet for me. But nonetheless, that defensive line is really good. And I think missing TJ Watt, man, that's one thing I texted you. I was like, TJ Watt is an unbelievable player. Dude, that guy is stupid. Watching him play football, he literally, I think, almost every play knew exactly what Joe Burrow was going to do.
Yeah, literally.
He picked him off once. I mean,
yeah. every play he was how many pass deflections did he have? Like 4? Like it felt like
he was everywhere. He was
fumble.
everywhere.
He did everything.
Like at any time, like we were doing anything, like TJ Watt was right there. And that's how it's always been. TJ Watt is unbelievable. I love the guy. I think I'll see him in my nightmares. Even whenever I die one day, I think I'll still be seeing TJ Watt. And it'll just like, he's a great player. Love the guy. But I do think the Patriots get the job done in a bounce back spot, therefore. Moving on to the 4:00 slate, kind of what you guys just said. I think this is the biggest blowout on the slate, in my opinion. The Falcons go on the road to the Rams. I think you're going to I think you're going to see it really fired up Rams team. I think they're going to dominate. Fred, what do you think?
Yeah, Cooper Kupp. The Cooper Kupp led Los Angeles Rams.
Yeah.
I think they have to get other guys involved. Allen Robinson needs the football. I mean, plain and simple. Cam Akers needs the football. Their defense, to me, has a lot of question marks. I mean, you got guys like Jalen Ramsey got exposed last week. Savon Diggs ate his lunch. So I expect him to bounce back. I need the pass rush to step up for them. I don't even know if they had a sack week 1. They didn't. I know Josh Allen's a different breed, hard to bring down. And the Falcons, Cordell Patterson looked good. I'm glad to see he wasn't just a guy that's kind of
one-hit wonder, little one
right at his age is kind of crazy. And then Drake London, I thought, flashed a little bit for the Falcons. But yeah, like you said, I think the Rams come out and smacked him in the mouth, just pissed off.
Yeah.
So, but I'd like to see Stafford share the sugar.
Rams.
Easy as that.
Yeah.
Let Liam Cohen open up the playbook. Let's go.
Yeah. Their offense looked terrible. The Seahawks on the road to play the 49ers. This game, just another one of those stinkers. The Seahawks do have a huge emotional win. Again, just one of those emotional wins. I think 49ers at home. I think Trey Lance is going to carve up the Seattle defense, and they're not going to be like the Broncos and turn the ball over 2 times on the red zone, not be able to punch it in, go for it on a 4th down in the second quarter. And again, they got stuff at the Broncos got like stuff at the 1-yard line like 3 times. Like it was, and 2 of them were fumbles. Like it was unbelievable. So I just think the 49ers, they're well coached. They're way better coached than the Broncos. And I just think that they are going to carve up the Seattle defense. Seattle football team is really, really bad. Let's not get mistaken by a week 1 win. Their offense, though, a little sneaky. What do you think, Fred?
Yeah, the offense is great. I mean, you still got DK and Tyler Lockett. I mean, Will Dissly made some plays. Sharp Penny's really good. I mean, look what he did at the end of last year. Dude about tore it up. Yeah. You can't really take what Trey Lance did week 1. I got to take that with a grain of salt, if you will. And I mean, it was a monsoon out there in Chicago. So I'm excited. I'm also going to go with San Francisco here. I know Seattle got a big time win, but I think San Francisco is going to be too much here. It's going to be dry, hopefully, in San Francisco, I assume. It hasn't rained there in 6 years. So we'll see what Trey Lance can do, man. I'm excited to see what the young cat can bring out and bounce back and smack him in the mouth.
I don't have much to add. I didn't get to watch the Seahawks game for various reasons, but from what I saw out of the 49ers, I'd go 49ers.
All right, moving on. The Bengals on the road to play the Cowboys in a big bounce back spot for the defending AFC champs. But again, kind of like I said, whenever we were talking about the week 1 game with the Cowboys and the Buccaneers, I think the story is with the Cowboys. Whenever Dak was out, like Jerry Jones has always been like, he just seems so swooned by Ezekiel Elliott and Dak Prescott. They let guys like Amari Cooper go, even though they know Michael Gallup's going to need a little bit of time early on this year to get back from his injuries. They traded him for what, a 5th-round pick and nothing, and now he's just sitting over there wasting space in Cleveland. It's just one of those things. I'm so frustrated with the Cowboys. Like, they have so much potential with that team. Obviously, their O-line has some questions, but that defense is fiery. They got some playmakers on that side of the ball. Not the greatest players, not the greatest team, but they could be a lot more fun than what they are. And they got absolutely dominated. The only team in week 1 that didn't score a touchdown, which I think is interesting. Fred, what do you think the story will be with this game? And kind of dive into that there.
The only bright spot for Dallas was literally Micah Parsons because he's an absolute freakazoid. It's about it. I mean, you're gonna have Cooper Rush. I mean, I think this is gonna be a blowout. Cincinnati, my kind of sleeper thing was Cincinnati. I thought their corners played great. I thought Eli Apple actually looked really good. Chidobe Awuzie is obviously great. You got Mike Hilton. So that secondary was really good to see for Cincinnati because Eli Apple got a lot of, he was beamed on a lot last year. But I thought he locked up, did a good job. I think, of course, you got Jamar Chase. That dude's, absolutely just a freak. And I think Joe comes back. He gets pissed off. He throws 405 touchdowns or something crazy because that was just uncharacteristic of him. He didn't look dialed in. He looked kind of not lost, but just kind of out to lunch, if you will. So we'll see. And I think the Bengals carved them up.
It's weird. Like Joe didn't look like flustered. You know what I mean? Like he just looked like he just wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? Though, like I don't know how to explain it. Maybe it doesn't make much sense.
No, I was trying to explain. I was just like he just looked just not in. I don't know. He just
like I feel like if you're gonna have that many interceptions, it's like you are like that defense has ran you like, and you're like you don't know what to do, whatever. But it's like with him, it was just like it. Just an off day, I guess.
Uncharacteristic mistakes from him. I just was surprised.
I think, the Bengals want to come out and have something to prove, obviously. I thought their defense did look fairly good, like you said. I'm going to go Bengals here.
I thought they looked great. Our defense just kept putting us in scoring positions. So, I mean, it's not like we could get a good drive going besides the end where we tossed up a prayer to fire move. So, I mean.
Yeah, Fred, at one point you texted, like I said earlier, we texted during the entire game and you made the claim, like, I don't know if you're like, you were talking about the Steelers at the time. You said, I don't know about our offense. I said, dude, both of our defenses might just be that good. Bengals, now that we're talking about the Bengals, like, dude, they're now the Steelers with TJ Watt, we could have a full blown conversation about that as well. But with the Bengals defense, they didn't even, I don't even think got a sack, but just
BJ Hill got one.
Did he? Their constant pressure, their secondary, as you alluded to, they didn't even play Dax Hill, which I thought was really, really strange. First round pick from this year. I don't even think they played now. Their second round picks hurt, but it was just like, I don't know, just the way that they rotated that. I would like to see, Dax Hill in the linebacker spot more alongside Logan Wilson and Jermaine Pratt. Like use these guys that have so much.
Jermaine Pratt looked great, by the way.
And Jermaine Pratt's a dog. Like, and you've already said Eli Apple. Anybody that watched the games last year knew how solid Eli Apple was. It's just all those guys. They use that one picture of Cooper Kupp, of course, scoring the big touchdown over him. I mean, that's Cooper Kupp. I mean, it is what it is.
Nobody's locking him up.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. I mean, let's cut Eli Apple some slack. But, yeah, the Bengals should be really upset. They should be really, ticked off. But all that being said, they were still in the game and still should have won the game. So they still are a really, really good football team. I think people need to pump the brakes on selling all their stock. But I was watching a post-game before we closed this game. I was watching the post-game interview with Joe Burrow, and Joe just kind of was sitting there. He's just like, the defense their defense did a really good job throwing new stuff at me. He said some of the stuff I had never seen before. And he was very, very vocal and open about, I've never seen what they've thrown at me, and they did a good job. Like he didn't make a single excuse. He never blamed his appendix. He never blamed not playing football for 8 months. He never blamed anything. He was just like their defense was better. And I love that out of my quarterback. He didn't make excuses, didn't say I hadn't played for 9 months, didn't say nothing. He just went out there and said, my bad, but he'll be better this week. And I think he's going to put on a show, and I think the Bengals get the job done. You said Bengals too, right, Fred?
I did, yeah, by a lot.
All right, moving on. The Texans on the road to play the Broncos. I think kind of the trend we've had here, another bounce back spot for the Broncos here. I think their offense looks a little bit better. I think they get the job done. What do you think, Fred?
I got my upset of the week here.
Wow, I love it.
Dude, I like Davis Mills, dude. There's just something about that kid that gets me up in the morning. You know what I'm saying? Brandon Cooks is sick. Wish I picked OJ Howard. Picked the wrong tight end last week. No, they did great. I think they just have a fun group of receivers, just kind of some weirdos like Chris Moore, like just some freaks. Nico Collins is out there now. Pharaoh Brown's sick. Like, Rex Burkhead's still alive. That's cool. And Damian Pierce kind of got, overhyped, but I think
the hype train's off the tracks.
I know Denver's probably going to be pissed off, but man, I hope Davis Mills comes in there and just smashes.
They should be mad too, though.
Yeah,
they blew that game. They should be 1-0.
I know it's in Denver. Russ's first home game. Good for him, I guess. So we'll see. Jerry Jeudy looked really good, by the way. But I'm going to go with the Texans, man.
Wow.
I thought the rookie corner looked good too. Stingley.
Derek Stingley Jr.
Mm-hmm.
Caleb?
We'll go Houston.
I'm going to go Broncos. I think a rough week one, they're going to want to bounce back. I mean, we could say the same thing like we did about the Bengals. They're going to want to bounce back, prove themselves. Jerry Jeudy looked good. I think they've got the weapons to really be successful. It's just a matter of going out there and getting it done now. So I'll go Broncos.
Yeah, a little nugget on the Broncos. They have to do a better job getting their wide receivers involved early. They didn't throw to a wide receiver until halfway through the second quarter, and that just isn't going to get the job done. I don't care who you got at tight end, unless it's Travis Kelce and Mark Andrews. I'd throw the ball to your wide receivers. Like, come on, Russ. What are you doing?
Especially when you have Cortland and Jeudy out there. Like, geez,
yeah, like what in the world? But then moving on, the Cardinals on the road to play the Raiders. This is actually a really, really interesting game. But the Cardinals, like we've already kind of alluded to, they're missing D-Hop. They just looked lost. Their only real like offense was whenever the Chiefs quit caring and quit trying. Like their second team was out there, and Kyler Murray started carving them up and scoring left and right. A little mad from my fantasy perspective, lost by 0.4 points, and Kyler Murray scores 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns. I didn't mean jack, but it is what it is. You keep it on, keep it moving. But I have the Raiders here. I think Derek Carr, coming off a 3-interception game, didn't look very sharp. 17 targets for Devontae Adams. How crazy is that? But I think they need to do a little bit better job getting Hunter Renfrow involved. Getting their other weapons involved, establish your other weapons, because you're always going to have Devontae Adams' presence, but you start making them worry about, okay, now Hunter Renfrow's in the slot. We got Darren Waller on the other side. That's when your team starts to get really, really scary. So I have the Raiders here. What do you think, Fred?
Yeah, I also have the Raiders. I just think Kyler Murray's not that good. Dude, I don't know. Derek Carr, take care of the football. You have, like you said, you have Waller and Renfrow to, lean on when Devontae's not open. Like, use those guys. Like Josh Jacobs, I'm not a big fan of, but he's a decent running back. Got to see more guys make more plays on that defense as well. Max Crosby's really good, but we got to see some other guys step up on that defensive side of the ball. But I'm also going to go the Raiders here just because I think the Cardinals are not that good.
Yeah, I agree. We've all said how the Cardinals aren't that good, but I expect their Carr to have a better week and to be able to this week in practice and everything, hopefully get his eyes open to how he can get more guys involved instead of just Devontae Adams. And I would expect that, and I'd expect him to be able to go out there and perform it. So I'll also go the Raiders.
I love that there. The Raiders, again, another bounce back spot. A lot of bounce back spots in this week 2 slate.
It's the narrative for the week.
It really
bounce
is.
Back week. Yeah.
And that segues me perfectly, Caleb, right into my Sunday night football. The Bears on the road to play the bounce back in Packers. The Packers looked absolutely terrible. Aaron Rodgers' body language throughout 89.9% of that game was absolutely horrendous. Christian Watkins early dropped an absolute dime from Aaron Rodgers, and I think that kind of just set the tone. But the Bears, in the monsoon, able to get the dub. Now, I think Justin Fields was able to salvage his numbers, but let's be honest. He had a 57-yard touchdown on a broken play, so you take that away, and his game looks absolutely terrible. Justin Fields, struggling out there in Chicago, but the team behind him isn't very good. I have the Packers in another, just one of those bounce back spots. I think it'll be a little bit closer than maybe some think. I think it'll be closer early just because I really love Khalil Herbert. I really love David Montgomery. I think that's a nice 1-2 punch to kind of keep the Packers off the field. And the Packers still have a lot to figure out on the offensive side of the ball. Like, let's not get that in question. What do you think, Fred?
Yeah, man. Aaron Jones has got to get the ball more. Aaron Rodgers, grow up, dude. Like, act like a leader. Like, take these young guys under your wing. Like, you're a back-to-back MVP. You're a Super Bowl champion. Like, act like it. Just quit showing bad body language. Like, you're not a child. Like, I hate that more than anything. Like, dude, you're what, 38 years old now? Like, you've been there 100 times. Like, you were the rookie behind Favre. Like, be be what you are and be a leader.
Favre was kind of a douche to him too, wasn't he?
Yeah. Well, Aaron Rodgers doesn't look like the nicest human being. I don't know him personally, but Justin Fields is bad. Like you said, the Pettis touchdown really saved it. I think the Bears get smacked if that game isn't pouring the rain. So I'm going to go Packers here, but Aaron Rodgers be better. Not even just on the field, but off the field as well. Or like, you know what I mean? Like as an emotional leader. That's just not, it's just, you can't do that. I mean, plain and simple.
Two ugly week ones for both teams. When I think about this, I think about like which team has more threats, more options, and I think it's the Packers. So it leads me to go Packers.
Yeah, and just a better coach in general. So yeah, we're all going Packers on the Sunday Night Football game there. And Monday Night Football, this is the great thing about these early Monday Night Football games. We have 2 games to just swim in on Monday night. In the first game, the Titans go on the road to play the Bills. Obviously, the Bills looked incredible opening the season on Thursday Night Football, putting up 31 points, dominating the defending Super Bowl champs. Josh Allen, again, some questionable decisions here and there, but ultimately got the job done. And the Titans lost at home against the Giants, which we've already gone into. The Titans just aren't very good this year. I'm going Bills. Caleb, let's go Caleb. Caleb, what do you think?
Josh Allen tore me up in fantasy. So did Stephon Diggs. And I can't go against them. I think they're both really, obviously they're both just really, really solid. The Bills looked really, really good week 1, and I think they're just going to continue to roll off that. So I will go the Bills as well.
Right.
Yeah, the Titans have 2 players, Derrick Henry and Jeffrey Simmons. That's not going to be enough. The Bills look great. Stephon Diggs is gross. Von Miller looked amazing again for the 100th year in a row. He's absolutely sick coming off the edge. But we will see Josh Allen carve Tennessee up and watch Ryan Tannehill continue to be mediocre. Derrick Henry will probably run it 67 times. Go Bills. Bills will win this very easily.
Bills Mafia, we're backing you. And now moving on to my game of the week. The Vikings on the road to play the Eagles. This is going to be such a fun game. The Vikings' new look offense looked absolutely incredible against the Packers. And then the Eagles, I mean, their offense looked very, very solid outside of maybe get the ball to Devontae Smith. Maybe
I would. Pay Heisman.
Maybe throw him the ball every now and again. I mean,
I debated. I had him on my bench, and I was like, I think I was texting both of you. Like, should I start Devontae Smith? Good thing I did. Yeah. Good thing I did.
Yeah, but the running game, Miles Sanders looked incredible. Very, very happy about that. They used all 4 running backs. I'm pretty sure, or all 3, including Jalen Hurts getting a touchdown. So they have 4 rushing touchdowns. I'd like to see a little bit, air it out a little bit more on the goal line, maybe see what you got. But hey, you do what you got to do. They put up 38 points. I think this game is going to be so much fun. Just high flying football. Dudes going everywhere. We got great running backs, decent quarterback play, some wide receivers to really get into with A.J. Brown, J-Jet, some defensive pieces on the Viking side that are fun. Eagles defense, we'll see. But I have the Vikings winning my game of the week. Fred, what do you think?
I also go Vikings because Justin Jefferson's an absolutely sicko. I mean, if you are a young receiver and want to learn how to run routes, just watch that man work. He is absolutely filthy. He made Jair Alexander look stupid out there. I mean, L's down, but like, golly, that dude got cooked. I mean, and Jair Alexander is one of the best corners in the league, and he made him look silly multiple times. Justin Jefferson's sick. You got Adam Thielen. Dalvin Cook's great. Kirk Cousins looks, as always, he's going to get you there. He's going to get you the ball. He's a decent quarterback, and I think he has a great year going forward.
Are we worried about Kirk Cousins on Monday Night Football?
No, I am not.
You're not worried this year because there's been a stigma that he's been awful on Monday Night.
No, because he has Justin Jefferson and Jesus on his side.
Hey, hallelujah. What do you think?
What's the spread for this game? Do we know?
I think it was like 8.5. Or no, 2. The Philadelphia Eagles are favored by 2 points.
Wow, really?
I'm taking the over on that too, at 50.5.
It's a lot of points for an NFL game.
I think this is going to be an exciting offensive game. I think Jalen Hurts had to I don't know if he necessarily wanted to have to run as much as he did starting off that game because he had 17 carries. Like, I mean, that's a lot. And so I feel like if they can figure out a way to get Devontae Smith involved and have him be able to throw the ball a little bit more and get him more comfortable, and then if his passing game's going, then he can fall back on his running game. I think that's going to be very exciting. But Justin Jefferson's just so exciting to watch. The Vikings offense is just so fun to watch. You both went Vikings. So I'll throw a little wrench in there. I'll go Eagles.
Going with the Eagles.
Cool.
The Eagles, man. Just like we've been saying, I mean, this game is just gonna be fun. Like the dudes out there, like on offense, are just it's just awesome.
Just guys being dudes.
Just guys being dudes. And as we're gonna transition here to a segment that Fred has normally dominated. Like Fred has absolutely destroyed me in this segment. Going back to last year when we did it, I'm pretty sure I only won one time. I was like 1-5 or 1-4 in the episodes we did it. But I opened up this year 1-0. Isaiah McKenzie got the job done for me, scoring 9.9 fantasy points. Brevin Jordan was your selection. He scored 1.5. Only got targeted one time though, so kind of gypped you out there. So you start the year 0-1. Fred, the redemption starts now. It's your redemption week, just like it is half the NFL. Where are you going?
We won the 6th-round pick out of South Carolina 2 years ago, Shi Smith. He's owned by 0.1% of leagues.
Shi Smith?
He's a Carolina Panther. He's a wide receiver. He's quick. That's about all I know about him. Super excited about it though. Listen, man, he got targeted 3 times this past week. I think he steps up as that wide receiver number 3. And like I said, he's owned by like probably 1% in the world. So 0.1% of the world owns him. I'm going a weirdo here, Shi Smith. I remember him playing him as a Kentucky fan at South Carolina. Dude's got burners. Let's see what you can do, kid.
So I don't know if we were sharing notes, but I also picked a rookie.
He's a second-year kid. He's a second-year kid.
Oh, well, I went a rookie. Kyle Phillips from the Tennessee Titans.
He led them in yards, didn't he?
Do what?
He led them last week in yards.
Yes, he did. He is rostered in 0.5% of leagues.
Oh, okay? Yeah.
And whenever you look at it, he got 9 targets in week 1 and looked extremely solid. On their biggest drive of the game, he hit him on a corner route to the sideline. Beautiful ball from Tannehill. Beautiful reception by Kyle Phillips. Kyle Phillips, whenever you look this week as well, or last week, here's a list of players who saw 40% or higher target share in week 1. So target share is essentially the quarterback when he targets you, whenever you're on the field. Devontae Adams was 48.6%. A.J. Brown was 44.8%. You want to know who's the last man on the list? Kyle Phillips at 42.9%. End of list. Kyle Phillips, my sleeper showdown selection for week 2. Big matchup here. They're going to have to throw the ball to keep up with the Bills. Give me all of Kyle Phillips. I think he gets in the end zone, keeps my sleeper showdown streak alive, and I'm going to take my belt back, baby. Kyle Phillips versus Shy. Is it Sky or Shy?
It's S-H-I.
S-H-I. Shi Smith from the Carolina Panthers.
Hope he brings the tea this week. You know what I'm saying?
There we go. Kyle Phillips versus Shi Smith. Man. Caleb, who do you think's going to win this one?
I'll go Fred.
Whoa!
Listen. This is a redemption week in the NFL. It's redemption week for Fred. It's redemption week for Fred.
Hey, shouts out me last year.
Dude, last year he picked this random dude owned by probably 2% of the world. And the dude had like 35 points. It was unbelievable. I'm pretty sure he had like 3 touchdowns. It was nuts. Didn't you call Donovan Peoples-Jones too that one week?
Yeah, dude. He had like
you were all over the place. You were all over the place last year. I call these guys. Hardly keep up.
I do my research, man.
It's just like your our nickname game. You're just a cheater. Somehow, some way, you're cheating.
Fred is nasty at the nickname. We're gonna have to pull that back out.
Oh, but there we go. Full slate in the NFL. Anything you guys want to add?
I'm Tom Brady the way y'all think I cheat, let me tell you.
You're deflating my balls.
I will. You want me to. All right, man. I don't have anything else. Go Steelers.
Good.
Get us out of here, Fred.
If you want me to. Listen, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to the X Factor Sports Talk NFL edition. Troy, Caleb, always a pleasure, boys. Super excited for week 2. Hopefully I can redeem myself with some of these picks and also my fantasy sleeper. Shout out to you, Shy Smith. As always, thank you guys for tuning in. Don't be a star. Don't be a superstar. Change the flipping game. Be an X Factor. We'll see you guys next time. God bless and peace out.